Hello my dreamers, it's Sky here and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. Today we're going to be starting our April color along. So for the month of April I'd planned to do a coloring page in the Fierce and Fancy Fantasy Faces, and this is a page that I had wanted to do last year, and then I think we ended up doing something else, so it kind of got put on the back burner, and I thought it would be a fun page to do for April. So the page that we are going to color is, I can't remember the name of it now. I think it's Happy Hatchling, isn't it? Yeah, Happy Hatchling. So this one here, I'm a little bit torn on whether I want to do the grayscale version or not. There's definitely like pros and cons to both. I think I might do the grayscale version. We might as well. I think the last time we did grayscale, I was gonna say I think we used markers, but no, I don't think we actually did. It was pencil as well, because this is the last grayscale one that we did. This was Lotus, and we did this last year as a color along. I think maybe she is what took her spot, maybe? I'm not too sure. Either way, I want to do this because I want this to also kind of double as an ombre hair tutorial. So that's kind of the plan there. I thought it would be super fun to have her hair start from one color and then go into another. So if you guys seen the poll up in March that had some random gradients with weird names, that is what that was about. So without giving any purpose to the vote or to the poll at all, I just kind of found these gradients on a website and they all had different names. So I was like, okay, cool, we'll pop the names in there. I think it only let me put 4. And then I just posted it with a few emojis just to see what people would pick. So when you guys voted, you had no idea what it was for. This is what it was for. So the one that won was kind of like a bluey green to kind of like almost like purpley blue color. It's going to be a little bit hard to recreate that combination because it was a little bit, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but basically it's not as easily converted to the Prismas. I feel like there's not very many colors that really matched that gradient, but I found some that I think would work good, and hopefully this turns out well. I'm actually a little bit nervous for this, not gonna lie, but I think it'll be fun, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to get started. We are going to start with her hair and then we'll kind of go from there. There's not a whole lot to this picture. We mostly have her hair, skin, the little dragon, her outfit, and then these clouds. And then I'm not sure what we'll do for the background. We'll kind of figure that out later maybe, but yeah, we'll start on her hair because everything's going to kind of base off of that. So I have everything pulled out here, I think, and I'm just going to find a piece of paper to go in behind here that isn't going to be a nuisance, and then we'll get started. Okay, so do we want her hair to start with the greens and go into the purples, or purple to green? I'm kind of thinking purple to green because I think it might be neat to have maybe purple clouds down here, like maybe gold. I don't know, I'm really torn on that. It seems like such a small decision to make, but it can definitely impact the page in a great way. Okay, this is kind of childish, but I'm gonna eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a tiger by the toe. If you always let him go, my mother said to pick the very best one, and you are not it. All right, green to purple it is. Okay, so I'm just going to start basing the colors in here. So I'm going to work really light. And we're basically just mapping this out. It could change. It might fluctuate a little bit. That's why we're going real soft, just in case. Okay, I'd say about there with the cobalt turquoise. I might bring in a little bit of like a dark blue as a shadow for this, for the cobalt turquoise, but we'll see. Okay, next switching to the parrot green. I think I'm gonna bring this up through to the ponytail here. I'm gonna bring that down to about here. Sorry if the lighting keeps getting dim and then bright and dim and then bright. I like to use the natural light, and I think it's a little bit cloudy today, so the sun is kind of playing peekaboo. Okay, let's go in with the light green. I don't exactly know how far I want to bring this down, so I'm going to bring it down to about there. We're going to have a whole lot of it on this side. Maybe bring it down about here. So one thing I wish Hannah would have done when she was creating the pocket size version is maybe zoom out of the pages a little bit. Like they're so close in, it would have been nice to have the whole girl in here, or a little bit more of her, rather than have her so large and close up. So we do lose a little bit of her hair and stuff, unfortunately, but I am totally okay with that, just to have a pocket version of her. I'm going to go about halfway down with this. Again, this can always be changed. And then I'm actually going to bring in the Blue Violet Lake, and I'm going to kind of work that in between what we haven't colored and then that gray lavender that we just added. Just going to touch this in here a little bit. It's mostly going to go over the gray lavender, I think, when we actually start throwing these colors down and deepening them, but for now we'll use it sparingly. I think this is hair, but I'm really not too sure. It looks a little funny. Yeah, it just seems out of place, but it looks more funny if it's not colored in this hair, in my opinion. So I'm gonna like color down that a little bit. All right, and then just kind of working from the bottom up now. Just I'm going to touch in the Imperial Violet in there a little bit. Again, nothing too crazy or anything. Okay, I do like that. I think that is going to look super pretty. I wonder actually if we could just bring the Imperial Violet in up here. I don't know if it's dark enough for what I want. I think I'm going to grab another color. Just one sec here. It's kind of thinking the dioxazine purple hue because I feel like it's a little bit of a mix of the two. It's kind of like a purpley blue. I feel like the Indian Throne would be pretty as well. Let's see here. Let's grab the dioxazine purple hue because mine is fairly new, so it shouldn't be too hard to use. Apologies if you can hear the boys, they're being a bit loud. Okay, let's start by putting this in some of the areas we want fairly shadowed. So I'm going to put a little bit down here. Just little bits and pieces, mostly kind of focusing on some of the areas where Hannah has a little bit of shading there. So that's the best way to use the grayscale as a little bit of a guide. Kind of a little bit up here. Okay, I'm going to use I don't know what you call this method. I want to make her hair look a little bit more textured, a little bit more realistic. So I am going to, the flicking method, that's what it's called. So I'm going to flick the color in here once I'm happy with the base that I have there. Let's flick a few back coming this way too. We don't want too many, but I'm gonna add a few just in these little curly bits here too. All right, that's looking pretty good already. So let's switch to our cobalt turquoise now. So for the most part, I usually teach to do little circles. In this case, when you're trying to do hair like this, or any kind of texture like this, it could be animal fur as well, we don't really want to do those circles because as soon as we're going across our pencil stroke like this, it's gonna kind of blend it out sideways and we're gonna lose that fine line going that direction. So in this case, it's a little bit of an exception. I'm going to color in the same direction as whichever way we're going, basically. It's looking pretty interesting so far. I do feel like I have a love-hate relationship with the grayscale. I can definitely see why a lot of people like it, myself included. Like, just visually it looks nicer as well, at least uncolored anyways. I can't say that it always looks nicer colored. I'm not too sure. I'm sure it doesn't always. I'm sure there's still a little bit of skill base there as well, but I don't know where I was going with it. I lost my train of thought. It is darker though, like it's darker than I want it, which is a drawback. Okay, so that's looking pretty good so far. I do want to add a little bit more of the dioxazine purple hue in here, specifically kind of like along the top here. I want to add a little bit more coming out from this part of the, where the hair disappears into the ponytail, and then same with on this side. So add a little bit more. Add a little bit coming up here too, just a bit. I don't want to drag it out too far, but just a little bit. It'll help the gradual effect, the gradient, if you will. Okay, let's go in with the parrot green now. I am going to add a little bit of this up here. Mostly focusing it along the centers, and I am just kind of going from the start to the finish, just making sure that I'm trying to stick to the way the strands are going. If they curve, I'm going to curve it, kind of thing. Okay, let's bring this down here like this. I'm just going to lightly color in some of these white areas here that are a little bit more noticeable, I guess. Again, in the same direction that the hair is going. Let's bring this down a little bit. We can always come back in with our darker colors if we need to, and I feel like we might have to, but we'll see. Just for her bangs anyways. I think we should. Let's go back in with the cobalt turquoise. Okay, and let's go in with the dioxazine purple hue a little bit more too. Definitely need a better point on this one. There we go. I think that's better. Just need that little bit of definition there. Okay, let's go back with the parrot green. I think I'm just gonna put my pencil sharpener here so I can awkwardly sharpen my pencils and keep my book in frame so I don't have to look every single time to make sure we can still see everything. Because that's going to get annoying real fast. Okay. Okay, bring this down. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of grayscale. I think this just solidifies it. I liked Lotus, but I definitely feel like she could have been a lot more brighter. I don't like how it dulls the colors down. It muddies them up, and I don't like that. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I think it definitely is beneficial for someone who doesn't quite know or is unsure of where to put shadows and stuff. If you struggle with that, I can definitely see it being useful, but for me, I don't think it's worth it. That being said, I'm still pretty new to it. I don't really know much about it, but the few pages that I've colored, I've just felt like I've struggled with them. Okay, I'm going to start from the bottom here. I'm just going to flick upwards. So this is a little bit of a tricky spot because we want to get that flicking motion, but we also don't want to color over her skin. We might want another darker color for down here, but we'll see. Okay. I don't know if the Blue Lake or the Grade Lavender should be kind of like our mid color to help blend them. I feel like it should be the Grade Lavender. So let's go in with the Blue Lake now, and we'll bring that up a little bit. Okay, and then let's try the Grade Lavender. Let's see what happens here. See, this is another thing when working with like a really light color like this, that gray is going to show through so much. I don't think there's any combating it though, and I'm not really in the mood to start on the other version. So we're gonna work at it. I've always said, and I need to practice what I preach, to not give up and persevere. I do like it, don't get me wrong. I might be a little bit complainy right now, but I really like how it's looking. It's just, it's so dull compared to what I know that the Prismas are capable of. I'm going to kind of bring this up into the green a little bit here. Let's add just a little bit of the dioxazine purple hue down here. Oops. I'm gonna try and keep it very, very sparse. And I'm gonna go a little bit lighter because I don't want it to take over. but I do want some like darker kind of defining lines in here. And I feel like this is a good color to use for that. Okay, liking that. I think that definitely helped. Let's go into our parrot green, I think. Let's bring a few strikes into maybe some of these top bits here. Now I'm just trying to work on gradiating everything, making it look like it goes from one color to the next, because it kind of just does like a start and stop thing, and we definitely don't want that. I don't know what this piece is, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of color into that. Okay, let's go in with the light green and do the same. Okay, and then let's go in with the Imperial Violet, and let's add a little bit of this, kind of going into these colors here too. Okay, what do we think of that? I think I like it. I do want a little bit more of the grade lavender in here. And again, just going to add this in, going in the same direction as the rest of the hair strands. So I'm using a fairly firm pressure here. I really want to get that color in there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And then I think what we need to do is bring in the blender pencil. So I'm just gonna, oops, grab mine. Okay, so starting up here, just gonna work back and forth, going in the same directions as the hair. Just like we've been doing this whole time. Already look at the difference there. So this will brighten it up a little bit. Hopefully it will be good and not bad. We'll see. That is actually very pretty. gonna clean off my pencil here. And sharpen it a little bit. I don't know if it's my pencil muddying it up or if it's just the color underneath or what. No, it's whatever this is. I don't know. I think it's just because these are such light colors and the grayscale is peeking out underneath maybe. I don't know. We'll work with it though. Yeah, it's doing it here too. That's unfortunate. There, so you can kind of see the difference. I actually think it looks not too bad. I think maybe I just needed to add more color in there, which unfortunately was pretty impossible, considering we were using light colors there, and that's definitely where the grayscale shows through the most, is in these lighter colors. It's not bad though. I think it'll be okay. Now that we have that base, we might be able to go back over top a little bit and add some more lines and definition to kind of hide that. Oops. We'll see if we need it. I might speed this half up. It's going to be the same process. Okay, so now that we've got that done, see, I want to grab the Imperial Violet. I'm just going to lightly add some streaks going up this way. Not super dark or anything. I want to keep them real light. Just want to help these colors a little bit, make it stand out a little bit more. Now that everything's kind of blended in, it does look good. I do like it. I'm gonna add a little bit more green to this one, a little bit more to the top of this one. Okay, and let's bring in the dioxazine purple hue a little bit too. Mostly in some of these darker areas, especially the ones that ended up looking a little bit more gray than we want. I'm hoping that this will kind of combat it a little bit. I would rather it be darker than I want and look good than have it grayed out and look not the greatest. I do feel like this is helping actually. Even just those couple extra little stripes through some of these more solid colors is definitely kind of hiding the grayness. Unfortunately, this one had a lot of that grayscale on it. I don't know if this is salvageable. We can try. It doesn't even look like hair color. It just looks gray to me. I don't know if I can save that, but this side looks a lot better already. I am enjoying that a lot better. Okay. I'm not sure what else to color. Kind of debating having her dress kind of match her hair a little bit, but that might look a little bit funny. Or I guess shirt. Let's color her shirt in this part too, and then we'll kind of call it there. I think I'm gonna go green. I'm thinking green, but what color are we gonna do the dragon? That's probably like more important. I think it would actually be kind of cute to do the dragon gray with like some just colored spots on it. Keep it pretty simple. Yeah, I feel like that'd be pretty unique. I'm gonna go with that. It might change, but either way, I'm gonna do the shirt green. I'm gonna stick with that. So I'm just gonna add some of the cobalt turquoise coming out of these shadowed bits here and there. think for me it makes more sense to keep this part of the shirt the same color as the rest of the shirt. Okay, I do want to add just a small amount of the dioxazine purple hue in here as well, specifically under this spot here. A little bit, kind of coming under these areas. In the center area here, just coming out a little bit, and then just a little bit underneath the dragon's tail as well. Okay, let's go in with the parrot green. I'm just going to add a little bit of the parrot green over top of the darker color here, but I'm not going to bring it out too much. I'm going to leave it. There's not much room there, and I want that to be more of the lighter green. But everywhere else, I'm going to bring this out a little bit on its own. So don't mind my phone, it's just my work wife messaging me. I'm assuming she just woke up from a nap or something because I haven't heard from her for a little bit. I don't want to use too much pressure, but I do really want to layer up this color. I want this to be predominantly the main color, or the predominant color. Is that how you would say that? I think. Pink dragon would be kind of cute too. Okay, so I'm just going in lightly at first. I'm adding this in there. And as it blends into the other colors, I'm just gradually increasing the pressure a little bit, trying to use this to burnish. Blend everything together. Oops, colored over that a little bit. And then up top here, I'm going in this area first and then coming into this darker area. So I don't want them to mix too much. I want this top piece to be a little bit lighter than the bottom. So much brighter than her hair, and I don't understand what is different. Let's see if I add some of this green in here too. Oh, I just realized that was I using swatches? Did I use swatches that whole time? I don't think I did. I might have. I don't know. Sorry if I didn't. I don't think this is really making a difference. Well, oh well, it is what it is. It's a good start, I think. I'm not exactly sure color-wise. I want to keep this pretty limited. I am still very much considering doing like a whitish gray dragon. Or even like, well, no, I think whitish gray would be better than whitish blue. And then just doing little spots of color, like little pinks and blues, maybe a little bit of purple. I am having a hard time visioning it in my head, but it's sticking at the same time. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Skin color is just going to be a generic skin tone. I don't know about eye makeup on this one. We'll see. The clouds, I'm not too sure. I was originally thinking like a really dull gold color, but yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm a little bit stumped color-wise on this now. But I think this is a good place to stop it for part one. We got a fair bit colored. We're only about an hour and a little bit in, which isn't too bad. A page like this, I don't think we'll need hour and a half long parts. So this should be okay. And yeah, I don't think the hair turned out exactly like I was picturing. It definitely didn't turn out super close to the swatches that I put in the polls. They were way more pastel than this. Unfortunately, we kind of had to sacrifice the pastel to have the colors poke through. Otherwise, it just would have been gray. If I had chosen just the liner, I think we could have gotten away with it, but I just don't know if that's achievable with grayscale. If it is, my skill set is just not at that level where I can achieve it. So yeah, I think this is a good amount of progress for part one. Hopefully you guys are liking this so far. It will probably look different later on too. I'm kind of debating going in with, I'm not exactly sure what, but with something later to kind of define some of these areas. Like we kind of lost these little twists in her hair here. I want to try to bring those out a little bit, so we'll see. But yeah, I think it'll look a lot different than it does now, even with like the final touches and stuff. So excited to see what this looks like going forward. Of course, you guys watching this, you'll already know what it looks like, so you'll know whether it looks great or not. Hopefully it does. But yeah, we're gonna leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed. I would love to see you back for part 2. As always, take care, and hopefully I'll see you next time. All right, guys. Bye.